This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFLTV. Delighted to be joined on this, don't know, overcast Monday morning by Mr. Frank Warren.
Not as overcast as it was on Saturday, or
Frank,
wet.
you got away with it in more ways than one on Saturday. The weather kind of, I know, it wasn't the best, but it kind of held
Yeah.
for parts. Frank, if you was to compare that fight to a game of football in your life, what one would it be?
Um, well, I would say when Arsenal won at Liverpool, but I mean, we weren't behind or anything, but the dramatic ending. It
Yeah.
had the dramatic ending, although, as far as Fabio was concerned, he was well behind on the scorecards.
Frank, talk to me about kind of even going into rounds kind of 9 and 10. I know you was kind of visibly active in that corner, uh, hollering instructions. What was going through your head? Did you kind of even foresee a situation with what actually materialised in that 10th round, Frank, or did you think that it was just going to be kind of almost a shutout then at that point for Justice HUNI?
What was happening? The rounds were slipping by. I thought Fabio won the first round. That he wobbled him at the end of the first round. I thought he had a really good third round, and then maybe another. But other than that, Justice was winning the rounds. And as the rounds were slipping by, sometimes you get a fight where it goes into a pattern and it doesn't change. It's the same, becomes repetitive. And what I could see, I was looking, thinking, with Hooney, he's very susceptible and can be caught with a right hand. But he wasn't letting that right hand go. And at one stage, I wondered if he banged his hand up or he hurt his hand. And a couple of times I shouldn't do it, but I'll get carried away. And I went to the corner and had a little bit of a, saying you about his right hand. And then I think the round before the stoppage, just before he came out, I went to the corner. I said, "You are not going to win. You're behind on points. Even if you win the next two rounds, you've lost the fight, or three rounds, whatever it was. You've lost the fight. You've got to knock him out. You've got to let the right hand go." And I wasn't even worried about him going out and finding him with a jab and letting it go. I just said, just throw the right hand. You won't miss him with it. You can catch him with that right hand. And well, he didn't. Not saying it's because of me, but he went out and that's what he did.
Mm. Um, Yeah, I mean, look, it must have been a very disappointing night for Justice Hooney and their team. They were seemingly on their way to quite, in the end, would have been a comfortable points win. What was the conversations going on between yourselves and Eddie and Spencer during the fight, Frank?
Well, they were obviously delighted the way the fight was going, and they kept banging on, and they kept hearing me shouting. I mean, all I was doing. It weren't like the only thing I wanted him to do was let that right hand go. I knew he would catch him with it if he let it go, and that was it. But they were like, and they were encouraging, Justice. They were, well done, great shot, and all this stuff, and all the stuff they were doing. But it was. It was a good moment for Fabio to do that. In fact, the fight panned out how the press conference was. In the press conference, he was asked what his game plan was, Justice, and he said to go out there and box, use his boxing ability, and that's what he did. And then I think somebody asked Fabio about the thing, and he said, "Look, he probably is a better boxer than me, but it only takes me a split second." And that's what happened.
Mm.
They both fought how it panned out how they both said it would.
What did you make of the 10 count, Frank? Just it was just a question on
He
the.
was out. He was,
Yeah.
he couldn't have carried on. And had he carried on, he would have got knocked out.
Mm.
I don't care what anyone says. One thing about Fabio Wardley, he's a good finisher when he's got you in trouble. And he took a tremendous punch. I don't think there's any controversy about that. And I really like Justin. I think he's a really, really top fella. A lot of time for him, and I'll gladly promote him again and put him on one of our shows against any of our guys. He's a competitor. Went into the Lions Den and give a magnificent account of himself. And his team were really good. His trainer got it. They've done their homework. They boxed well, but he was gone. He didn't. I'll tell you what. You go and watch it back. He didn't complain when it got stopped.
No, to be honest, we spoke to him straight after. Well, not straight after. We
He
spoke to him
didn't
after.
complain at all.
Thanks.
No, he didn't complain at all.
I mean, it was a question that was kind of put out there afterwards, Frank, but we're not going to see a rematch there, are we, with that? It's unlikely, isn't it?
Not at this moment because we're all waiting for the big show on the 19th of July, the show at Wembley at the bigger stadium, and that will determine what happens as far as all these guys are concerned. Four belts are on the line. Whoever comes away is going to be told by the BO that they've got to make their mandatory defence, and that's against Joe Parker. Joe Parker, in the meantime, won't be waiting. He's going to be out in September. Spoke with his people yesterday. Spoke uh, uh, with David Higgins and also Spencer on that, and he'll be out in September. So he'll fight, and but what will happen is that he will the winner of the fight on the 19th out of Daniel and Alexandric will have to make that defence, which will happen later in the year.
Okay. Frank, just to kind of close off on Ipswich, I mean, 5,000 people there at Portman Road the other day in that kind of weather condition, Frank. This they still turned up, and despite that, there's something there that you can build in Ipswich, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I haven't got that's that. Unfortunately, it's not an indoor stadium, so it is what it is. But we can go there again all day long, can't we?
Yeah.
It was a tremendous atmosphere there. I mean, and they weren't. At the end of the day, it rained. That happens, but nobody, they all got involved. They all got into the spirit of it, of supporting the local hero. They got behind him and they carried him through. Fabulous, fabulous night for him, for Fabio, and he deserves it. He's such a nice guy, and both nice fellas, really nice fellas. It's good card, good competitive fights on the undercards. So, yeah, it was a good night.
Absolutely. Frank, the kind of breaking news from also on Saturday was the Ring magazine reporting that there are talks for a fight between Dillian White and Moses Itauma at the moment. Where are we with that, Frank?
They're the reports at the moment. We are where we are. I'm not commenting on it. Moses is he's just left my office. In fact, Moses has been up here with Francis, his manager, and we've been having a good chat, and his team, and we're quite close to officially announcing something.
It's a real statement of intent there, isn't it? From at 20 years old, the jump in levels between. I mean, Moses has fought whoever he's fought so far to someone like Dillian White. I mean,
Well, he's going to be stepped up in his next fight, but that's what was happening in every fight he's had. He's been stepped up, and he's going in with guys, experienced fighters, very experienced fighters who bring something to the table. And his next fight will be a big step up for him, a big step up. And we'll see what he's about.
we look forward to news on that. Yeah, just some notable kind of results from um, that card as well on Saturday. Pierce O'Leary with a win over Liam Dillon. Could be on a big show in Dublin coming up, Frank.
We're working on that for Pierce. He deserves a homecoming fight. That's he boxed well, Pierce, against a real tough competitor in Liam. I thought Liam again he done himself proud. He come to fight, wasn't he? He was I don't think the scoreline reflected, or the judges scored reflected, how much he put into it, Liam. But Pierce was, obviously done and was the more dominant fighter. But I'll take my hat off to Liam. He gave a very good account of himself. But Pierce is a quality fighter. He's moved to 16-0 now, and he deserves a really, really big fight. And he deserves a big fight in his home city.
Hmm. What's your thoughts on the Albanian heavyweight Nelson Heisa? Obviously, he's got 23 wins, 22 knockouts at the
That
moment.
was a good knockout, wasn't it? I
Yeah.
mean, it was a good knockout. He's a big old lump, and he come to fight. He gave me a nice present afterwards. Um, Very kind of him and his team. So yeah, we'll see what happens, but he'll be out again soon.
He was calling for a fight with Moses Atama as well.
Not a problem. We can oblige him with that. Not a problem.
Okay. Right, Frank, let me kind of come away from there. Frank, just your opinion, if you have one, on this. This speculation regarding Ben Shalom and Sky that was in the newspapers from the weekend. Um, that potentially what's being reported is that that relationship with Sky is coming to its conclusion. What have you what do you know and what do you think about it? If
Well,
that's
I hope Sky stay in boxing for obvious reasons. You know, our sport needs the support from and needs TV stations and to be there as a shop window for our sport. As regarding whether they carry on with Ben Shalom or Boxer, I have no idea. From what I understand, that contract's now at an end. And I don't know, maybe they might do something on a fight by fight basis. Who knows? But the problem you got with fight by fight basis, it's okay for the main event, but it don't give you an opportunity to build fight younger fighters and bring them through. It's very difficult to do that. You need regular dates to get them out. So that'd be an interesting scenario. But from what I understand, if they stay in, it'll be working with other promoters.
yeah, obviously Sky haven't done that for quite some time. I mean, you're talking before your Box Nation days that Sky were working with more than one promoter. So they've not done that, have they? They've
No, no, they've done it with us. I mean, you know, they tried experimented in all different ways on what they're going to do. Um, who knows what they're going to do? I mean, you know, I've got to be honest, it doesn't make any difference to us. We're with the Zone, and you know, we're here. We've got a long term deal with them, and I think we've shown what we're all about with the shows that we put on from was it April up to now with them. We put on some superb shows, great quality shows.
um Usyk Dubois will quickly approach Frank. I think it's around what 6 weeks out now
Yeah.
from that. I mean that's the next kind of big fight night we're going to have here in the UK, Frank. And yeah, you're firmly standing
Well, it
behind
don't get
that.
no bigger than that, does it? That's the biggest one. The four belts are on the line. The two best heavyweights, active heavyweights in the world, are on that fighting each other. Revenge. Is he going to get revenge? Daniel, you know, is Usyk going to go and, you know, still remain undefeated, considered to be the best heavyweight by not by you know certainly him and Tyson, the two best heavyweights of the 21st century. But is he going? Can he? You know, show everybody again what he's all about. He's been a tough fighter to beat in everything he's done, from the Olympics through to being the unifying and being the undefeated cruiserweight champion, the same he's done in heavyweight division. So it's a tough fight, but it's a great fight. We've sold 74,000 tickets today.
Wow.
So that's
Who's it open
14
for,
that's
Frank?
14,000 more tickets than selling Spurs out.
Really? Oh, I'll tell you what, it's good to see these places, Frank, that you're putting out. I mean, even like when I was in Nottingham the other day to see that crowd back in Nottingham, see that crowd in Ipswich. There are fans out there, aren't
There
there?
are Bournemouth, so
Yeah.
you know, Bournemouth, Glasgow. I mean, we're taking them around the country. We're getting, you know, great response for our fighters because they're in good fights. They're quality shows. Boxing's on a real high. The heavyweight division's on fire, as I said to you on Saturday. And you think to yourself, looking at it, there's a really good quality heavyweight fight now on nearly every month.
Mm. Speaking of heavyweights, spoken to Tyson Fury lately, Frank?
I spoke to him last week, very briefly.
Anything of any significance or?
No, just talking in general about life. He was in a good place. He's got his new series going, hasn't he? Him and his family. I'm with the Furies, season 2. So he's wrapped up in that at the moment.
If he was a betting man at this point, kind of midway through the year, Frank, what would you say? Do we see him return by the end of the year or not?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, you know, that's for him to decide. I know he's a fighting man, and this if he feels he needs to. He's you know, we've had this conversation quite a few times now. He's very wealthy. He's set up. He doesn't need to fight. He's got 7 kids, a lovely wife in Paris. They've got a great family. He doesn't need to get punched in the head anymore, does he? He just doesn't need to do it. He needs to enjoy the fruits of his labours, I should say. And if he does want to fight on that show, that tells you he does that because he can't get it out of his system. He's a fighter.
Mm. We should see what happens. Frank, I'd like to give a respectful mention here to James Cook, who sadly passed away a couple of days ago. Obviously, everyone in the boxing scene uh, knows James Cook. Yeah, quite tragic there, Frank, to
Oh,
lose.
it's awful. I'd seen him at a show. He didn't look too good. And I was talking to him, and it was with Anthony Yard. You know, when Anthony
Yeah,
fought at Tottenham at Spurs, he was up because he works with him and Tunde. And I was, very briefly spoke with him, and I've known him for years and years, and he was a good fighter. You know, he won the European. He was in a good era, and he was a lovely man, and he worked very hard for the community and for youngsters. He had he gave back. He had a good heart. And it's so sad. It was a bit of a shock actually when I got the call and I was told. And obviously, myself, Queensbury, everybody in boxing, we send our sincere condolences to his family and his loved ones for their tragic and sad loss.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very sad news that came out a couple of days ago. So yeah, it's full steam ahead now for the summer, Frank. Obviously, you've got Hamza Shiraz on the Ring Magazine show in that huge fight coming up next month as well against Belanga, and you right fancy Hamza for that, Frank?
Yeah, it's a good fight. It's a tough fight. I mean, you can't say you got to take your hat off to him. He's not like gone up there and had a little let's dip my toe in the water and try against somebody who he can sort of try and bed himself in. He's gone straight in the deep end, right in the deep end with a good fighter, good quality fighter. Be a good fight.
Mm, absolutely. Frank, I didn't know that Simon Jordan was there the other day. I saw a couple of photos from him. Did you speak to him?
Yeah, he said hello to me. He was sitting there. I think he was sitting. He was the guest of the Ipswich chairman, Mark.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, I didn't know he was there that night until I saw a couple of photos yesterday. And yeah, yeah, no, I didn't know if, yeah, you two had any kind of conversations at all. Um, all right. Frank, also, obviously, just going back to that, the talks regarding Dillian and Itauma, Nick Ball also mentioned to be possibly on that card as well against Sam Goodman. Is there anything you can tell us on that?
There, there are lots of talks going on at the moment with all our guys, and we're putting together, working hard to get them into some really good fights and fights where it's going to get a lot of attention and they're going to be on an important show. So I think we'll be in a position in the next few days to sort of confirm where we're at, and everyone's going to like it. They're going to enjoy it. They're going to love what we're putting together. When I say what we're putting, I can't. When that's plural. It's not just me. It's somebody else obviously is involved. And when we're ready to make an official announcement, I'm sure everybody's going to love it. It's a really good quality card.
We'll look forward to it.
Great fight card.
We'll look forward to it. Did you give Ern any stick yesterday on the Sunday, or did you leave him alone?
No, it's his birthday yesterday, wasn't it?
Was it his birthday yesterday?
Yeah, his birthday yesterday. I only know that because I read it in one of the. Is in.
He kept that one quiet, didn't he?
I don't know, but anyway, it was his birthday yesterday. So
Do you
a
know what,
belated happy birthday.
Frank? Do you know what? I actually spoke to him yesterday. I didn't know it was his birthday. Oh,
Yeah, he said she's a miserable bastard. You didn't even buy him a present.
I did. I literally didn't know. He's definitely because I didn't see anyone post it or anything. So, oh, well, Eddie, if you are watching, yeah, absolutely, happy birthday. All right, Frank, have you got anything else you'd like to add before we finish?
No, I think we're all good. We've got some great shows coming up. I mean, we're announcing some stuff coming up in the next few months, which you're going to love. Everyone's going to love. Really good quality for cards, competitive fights. We've got some really good shows. We've had some good shows. These first few shows we've done on the Zone have been brilliant, well attended, great atmosphere, and more importantly, great fights.
We'll look forward to it. Frank Warren, much appreciate your time this Monday afternoon. And yeah, as you say, we'll see you when we're looking at you.
You certainly will.
Thank you very much, Frank Warren.
See you, Coop. All good, mate.